Subscribe to Simply Bitcoin.
It's okay though. Once I start talking, you'll be down to 10.
And there it is. All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome in. You made it to another episode of the Meme Factory Stream Test. This is Stream Test number 158. This evening, we're joined by none other than Rope, World of Rusty, Coin Icarus, and Plan Marcus. Yeah, I'm going up, down, left, right. Say hi, everybody. Just say hi.
Hi,
Good morning.
Hello.
I'm back
Guess y'all-
from a call. I missed all the pre-show banter.
Oh, you did.
Sorry about
You missed some good banter. You did.
Yeah, did we talk about
Yeah.
how Rope looks like the vice president?
Which vice
The
president?
vice president.
Have you
Yeah,
seen?
you've definitely got. Yeah, you've definitely got.
You know, I totally
VP
forgot his
Vance.
name.
He's got to be talking.
Yeah,
He's got to be talking about
Vance,
vice president
Vance.
like
Like
Australia or
Vance?
something.
He just That's an
I was
insult.
having the same problem as Phil there. I was like, I can't remember his fucking name. I'm just gonna call him
First
VP.
name. I just keep picturing
Rusty's-
the meme face, right?
Yeah.
The meme
Rusty-
face of the
yeah.
chipmunk.
Rusty's being modest. He remembers all American politicians' names. He's our quant
He
when
did.
it comes to American politics.
Yeah, he's our domestic politics out of geopolitics expert.
Yeah.
I heard 245% the other day.
245%.
Did you guys hear that?
Tariffs?
Yeah, tariffs. Yeah, he went up. He went up to 245.
That's a good round number.
It is. It is.
Yeah, when over 9,000, then we can start putting memes up.
Well, I tried. I tried it with basis points, but it didn't fly. Nobody really liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, so before we crack into
How long
anything,
you-
I've got to make Phil do a work. I've got to make Phil read the ads so we can get paid and we can get on with this shit.
Come
All
on.
right. All right, here we go. So, got to get my speaking voice ready. So here we go. This episode of the Meme Factory Stream Test is brought to you by Suscorp. At Suscorp, we believe experiences are the most valuable thing in life, especially when someone else is still paying them off. Introducing Lifestyle X Finance, a revolutionary way to monetize the unfiltered chaos of the modern consumer. We bundle financed lifestyle debt like fast food bought on credit, VIP passes to EDM festivals, or microloans for oil changes, and transform it into shitcoin grade structured financial products you can invest in today. We don't just sell debt, we agro farm it. Like the Wuhan wet market yield virus. Oh, I'm sorry. Our flagship product, the Cultural Tranche Select, includes over 12,000 debt-backed transactions from drive-through orders over $100, split payments for bottle service, sushi in rural airports, AI TikTok dance coaches. You don't just invest in the moment, you invest in the consequences of said moment. And thanks to our proprietary obscurity layer, these assets are custodied by Goldman, JPM, and a Cayman P.O. box the IMF pretends not to see. Lifestyle X Finance. Why chase number go up when you can own the underlying misery?
Well done, Phil. Well done.
Well done,
That
Phil.
was a good finishing line. I like that.
I like
Well
to
done.
I like to earn my $0. You know.
It's important. It's important.
But I will say that of all the ad reads that I have done, that is actually my favorite one.
That's nice.
And I've done I think I've done at least
You're
like
not
4.
just saying that.
You've
are
done
you?
a few.
No, I'm
You've
not.
done a
No,
few.
trust me, because I've never said it before. So that's all new material.
Okay.
But,
I'm
no,
gonna write this
seriously,
down in case for the next time you come on. Hold on. He
Fucking
said
said that last
today,
time. Fucking lying.
April 18th was his favorite. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, that's right.
My favorite part about that product is there's no downside risk at all. I mean, they're all bundled up in a AAA product, it sounds like.
I love no downside risk.
Yeah.
How do they get the no downside risk, though? I was trying to figure that out as I was reading through it because it all just sounds like
The
garbage.
word
The
is
same
both
way-
mysterious and important. I'm glad Greg got that reference. Yeah.
No, I think they do the same thing that Bear Stearns did. They just pay people to rate it AAA, and that you're good to go.
You know, it's the same way they do like scientific studies and medication studies and all. You just pay the right people,
Mhm.
and you get it added to the drug list, and you're fine.
And you cut payment to the people who say it's not a good thing.
Yeah,
do you
you
think
cut funding
movies-
and you.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
No,
I was
no,
just
I
going to ask
insist.
you because you're talking about all this funding, so I'm just kind of wondering these rating agencies, right? Like Moody's and stuff like that. How much do you think they charge for, the rating?
Well, I don't know. I'm just gonna hazard a guess and say there was some pictures taken of someone on an island in the Caribbean, kind of south of Florida. It's like Little St. James or something. Maybe something like that, where the price is probably very competitive because they have what's termed a blackmail. So that's just my guess.
You know, it's never the rating
We have no
agencies that get pinned for anything. So, like, whenever there's some sort of financial lawsuit, lawfare for something that's blown up when it shouldn't have, what do you see? Like 10% is the fine. Basically, somebody does like $2 trillion worth of bullshit and they get fined $200 billion, and that's the headline: $200 billion fine, right?
That's a
The
good point.
biggest fine ever.
So
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Probably
it's
like
gotta
a
be
flat fee.
it's gotta be similar to the fine, or like 10% of the fine. So what do you call it, $20 billion out of a $2 trillion? That's nothing. These guys don't care.
Yeah.
It's pay to play, right? It's just a slap on the wrist,
And then they just
mean,
pass
to
that
us-
off onto the consumer.
right? But to us, like the peons, it's like, oh my god, look at that! See, they had to pay that fine. They don't give a shit.
I mean,
Everybody's insulin prices just went up 20%, but it's fine. Whatever.
Come on, business, right?
this is art of the deal.
They can't be expected to pay their own fines. You know what I mean?
It's so ridiculous.
P is asking, what about my dog's pork and beans? Can I bundle them into a financial product?
Yes.
Of course. Of course you can with Suscorp. You can do anything.
You can bundle anything. Yeah, you can. That's why it's called a bundle. You know, just throw shit in there.
You think he's talking about
scary-
food or something else?
The scary part
There's
is,
no telling.
is that the ad that you had me read, unfortunately, in like probably less than 20 years, will be a real product.
Oh, less than 12.
Oh.
If it's not
No,
already.
way
I know. I'm
less.
trying to. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
way.
like
Be
what is it?
optimistic.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you think about
Maybe we won't fuck up that bad.
what are the companies that make that doable? There's Klarna. There's I think Affirm is another one,
Yeah.
and like they don't
There's
do that.
another one. Zap? Is it Zap?
Whatever it
Something
is,
like that. I saw it on. I was looking for a laptop, and I noticed there was like some new payment thing that I'd never seen there before, and it's like, what is this?
get it now,
Yep.
pay it later.
Right? It's okay. Just buy it now.
I think
Break up your Costco hot dog into 7 easy payments. Yeah.
We'll be cheering it on once we can do it on Lightning. though.
over the course of the year you can advertise your hot dog.
What'd you say, Marcus?
I said we'll be cheering it on once we can do it over Lightning with sets.
Well,
It's
then
true.
there's also
Probably.
Damn
there's
it.
also going to be a subset of people that pretend that lightning doesn't work. So, there's going to be a whole subset of people that pretend it's not happening, while there's a whole bunch of other people that are going to be cheering that it's actually working. So,
Did lightning ever
somewhere in between.
break? Was there ever a point where lightning like didn't work?
No. No, there's been from what I recall, like there's been a few times where there's been vulnerabilities that we've had to actually you had to update your LND version.
Yeah, I've seen
But-
that.
But I don't remember like a full stop. Like if you update to this, like that's it. You're done. Like you're not connecting to anything and you're just broken.
No, the first
I haven't seen that yet.
the only problem I ever had with
I
it
just
was
remember certain payments not going through.
Yep.
Whether it's
Yeah, the route
Yeah.
not found. Yeah.
but
yeah, that's the only problem I've ever had with like larger payments. Lightning does not like finding a route for that.
Yeah.
That
there were
in
some
your
bigger
face.
problems in El Salvador.
That's
yes,
in your face.
sorry, Yellow. Rusty's
Got
got
it.
his hand up, so he's got a
Oh
question.
my god! So yellow talks for the first time in the entire stream, and I somehow interrupted. Jesus Christ!
God damn it.
God damn
It's
it!
Murphy's Law.
How did
My-
Yellow's
my-
hand get on your profile pic, Rusty?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's exactly right.
And
My biggest problem with Lightning is when Pedro took my Lightning node down from his basement and took it down. That's my biggest problem with Lightning. So like update it or something.
that was good. That was good, Rusty. That was a good injection.
God damn it, Rusty. You interrupt me for that.
How did
Yeah,
he do
sorry
that?
about that.
What
Yeah.
were you gonna say, Yellow?
I should just cut my losses.
Anyway. Sorry I'm late, guys. I started late.
You started late. Like on
All
your
right.
period, like you're pregnant, or
Took him a while to drive here.
No, like I was running late already before when I started. You know.
so you were running. That's good. That's good for you.
You ever hear the burnt toast theory?
No. What
No.
is that?
I'm listening.
Running late isn't actually a problem. It's the universe saving you from something bad that was
No
going
one
to happen.
cares.
No.
I love that.
Oh, fuck you, Yellow.
We need that on a soundboard.
We do. There's so many sounds.
We do need a soundboard.
We need a soundboard in
Yeah.
general. We need to get Rope a soundboard.
We
That's
do.
what's happened.
Do you
Yeah.
though?
Yeah.
Do you really
Oh,
need a
yeah.
soundboard?
Absolutely.
Oh, dude! Every time like Greg starts talking and I just start doing like a little violin, just like in the background. Every time he makes a
Rope
joke,
just
I
has
can hit
his
the
phone
boom.
zooming in the background.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Rope needs the soundboard. I think don't trust it with Greg. He'll probably break it.
Yeah. Don't trust it.
Yeah.
I want the soundboard.
Yeah. I think Rope gets the
Big
Glad
responsibility.
we all
the
came to a
soundboard.
vote on this. Yeah, I'll definitely, straddle the line of what's allowable on YouTube for sure. So,
It's not just that.
And
but you
don't
have to have this
overuse the
impeccable
horns.
timing.
the timing, yes, is key.
Yeah,
I
impeccable
probably won't do any horns. Yeah.
Oh, so
Otherwise, it's just weird. It's just weird noises while people are talking, right?
Yeah. It's like
Oh.
Yellow talking over somebody.
I have a question for Coinakers.
go ahead, Marcus.
Since Bitcoin has been like mainstream and has come above ground, is there still stuff going on underground?
Oh, that feels like a
And it's basically like a reference to like, according to you, how has it like changed? I mean,
What are the rabbit
I feel
holes are you
like
going
when
down?
I open up Twitter now, it's just a bunch of like, I don't know. It feels like the old crowd has some kind of like diluted.
They
They're
gone.
either gone or they're not
They
talking
gone.
anymore.
Gone.
Yeah.
No, they gone, and the ones, a lot of them that stuck around, right? People's personalities grow up and they mature into influencers and stuff like that, and so it becomes a whole different thing, right? Before Bitcoin was all about freedom and fuck the government, and now it's about, well, I just need you to pump my bags, and the government's good, and I want all of these big corporations to have it, and all of a sudden the cheerleaders are like, yeah, this is amazing. We should create more derivative products based on Bitcoin. So it's becoming saturated with what we've all expected, just the TradFi normies, right? Like it's like that's it. It's what Yellow talked about so many years ago and still talks about, and it's just it's the macro stuff, right? Like it's gone, right? Like okay, you know what? It's interesting that you bring that up. So I put out a video today on what's it called? The latest firmware update. See, look, Rope is getting bored just as I'm talking about this. This gives you the clue why nobody fucking cares
Nobody
about actual
cares.
development and what's going on in Bitcoin. All they care about is fucking, is Sailor buying more corn?
Number
What
go
other
up.
rich guys buying more
Yes.
corn?
Right, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm
Unless
fucking
you're not talking price predictions, I
Right?
just go ahead and cut it short, please.
All right. So, long story short, firmware bad and everybody mad. Okay, so that was
Okay.
Is that the S?
Beautiful.
I saw that was
So,
for the
but-
S21,
Get
right?
on board.
But my point is
Firmware
that,
bad, everybody mad. I love
That's
that.
right,
I'm
you know,
tweeting that. Yeah.
and it's like, so
Make a
but
shirt.
essentially Bitmain, right? Like there was a firmware that came out, and then of course like Ocean Mine, like the people who updated their miners couldn't connect to the pool anymore, specifically Ocean and I think Brains Pool possibly. Anyways, and of course, right, all of a sudden it becomes anger, and there's a story there, right? Because obviously this is just total bullshit. And yeah, I mean, the actual video compared to if I put out a video with like Michael Saylor's stupid face on it, or somebody
Like a
else that
watermelon,
talks about
maybe?
numbers.
In a watermelon?
Yeah.
Put Michael Saylor's face in a watermelon? Have you
I-
ever thought about that one? Ever thought about
It's a
doing
good
that? Somebody
idea.
should do that. Somebody should do
should.
that. That sounds like
That'd
a
be a-
banger.
It does.
Yeah, the fucking banger meme. But yeah, seriously,
Yeah,
man,
but
those
the best.
episodes do terribly. In all fairness, that content does awful.
What I do,
Um,
black?
So, and I mean, part of it could just be me, right? I'm willing to take responsibility. We're all humans, Like part of it is maybe that I do not disseminate the story correctly or
You're
fun enough.
inseminating the story?
Disseminating. See,
Sorry.
there's
Rusty had his hand up. I got distracted. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thinking
yeah,
about
I mean-
inseminating Rusty.
Rusty, go ahead. Sorry. Save us here.
I have a theory that the OGs that are still around are the people that invested in BlockFi and Mt. Gox. That's what I'm thinking.
Well,
All
they
the
are
people
still
that
around.
stay humbles, they're out.
So anybody who stacks sats and let it somebody else custody, they're here.
Yeah.
I had so many things to say now, but I won't.
Sorry, Yellow.
Do
All right.
it, Yellow.
Do it, Yellow.
I,
It's very cathartic. Just go ahead, let it out. I know
No.
these are all big words. Big words. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a tough day.
You're gonna
Did a lot of
Are you
reading.
going to give me shit for having MicroStrategy shares? Is that what you were going to do, Yellow?
Ooh, I do want to
I'll
talk
give you
about
shit
that.
for having
I
MicroStrategy.
was
shares.
about to, but
Let's
I
go.
didn't. You did.
I felt it.
When Phil inseminated.
Yeah. So I'll be around for a few cycles once MicroStrategy blows up.
There was a D.
So-
I need some good karma in my life.
There was a
There
D.
Okay, you know what? Thank you all for coming tonight, guys.
Hey,
Great show. I'll see you later.
tip your waitress on the way out.
I'm leaving on a high note. You kidding me? This is great.
Oh shit.
Once a week.
You know how it's a cold like morning, and you try to start up your car, but it won't start, and it goes like.
No, I live in Florida.
Right?
Not in
Yeah,
Florida
that's how Rope laughs.
He's trying not to laugh.
It's true. It's true. No, I laughed. You know, it was kind of funny. You know, it was decent. You know, I'm not
I
mad at
can't
my
wait.
joke.
I can't wait to make a new response gift for you. Just like that.
Just like that.
Turning the car over. All right, so I promised Jay I'd ask his question today. It's a terrible question, but I'm going to ask it anyway because why not get the show canceled? He wanted us to have a roundtable discussion on how everybody's anus tastes right now.
Okay.
Moroccan cedar and vanilla.
Okay.
If I had to guess,
Gotcha.
that was
You
the
should've
body
left,
wash
Phil.
I used this morning.
You had your out. You should have left.
Mine probably
You live to regret
Yellow's
things, Rusty.
yellows definitely taste like polyester.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
He
mean?
knows that. He knows that from actually. Yeah. Okay.
Let's not. You don't have to explain the joke.
Rusty, did you have your coffee yet this morning, or?
Yeah. I have a double shot. Can't you tell? I'm talking too much.
No, I can. Well, now we know Rusty's answer. Anyway, that's enough of that topic. I do want to talk about. I do want to talk about these Bitcoin derivative products because
I do want to say I love our audience. You know, we have like the best audience that's interactive.
Absolutely.
You know,
That's
asks
right.
good questions,
All
Absolutely.
you know,
six of you.
add
All
quality
6 of you.
content. We love you guys.
Yeah. Thanks, all 6 of you. The best.
I have a question for Corey Nicholas.
What's up?
Corey Nicholas, thanks for coming once again in our program. I'm a big fan. Whatever you do. So the question is, like, still here?
Still here. Still here.
Until when?
Honestly, dude,
Like,
It
why
could be
not?
any moment. It literally could
I-
be any moment.
I don't
Still
know.
here?
I
I'm tired of all this.
I've almost left a few times. I've almost left.
Oh wait, are you talking about this stream, or are you talking
No.
about?
No, I love it.
But also,
I love
yes.
hanging out with you guys. I'm just talking about the whole thing. You know,
have
the
you
whole-
have you really reached a point where you said, like, but let me log out for a while and then just leave it all behind? Are you there yet or no?
I can honestly say that I'm at the point where in the pendulum sways often into the direction of
Insemination.
insemination. That's right, with a D. Like,
It's always with a
it
D.
just- with a- yeah,
Is there any
obviously,
other
right?
kind? Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Rope, it depends who you're speaking to these days. Let's be fair.
Right.
So many people can have D's. Anyways, but yeah, like oftentimes, man, I just I'm like, I don't need to do this. So I genuinely do it because I want to, and it's fun. And eventually, when it becomes not fun, I'll just not do this anymore. So yeah, I am coming closer and closer. The TradFi bros are helping me make this this leap into a new world, right? Seeing how they just pop onto Twitter and just jerk each other off and don't actually want to understand Bitcoin, but want to tell us how Bitcoin works because they own fucking MicroStrategy. So yeah.
Which MicroStrategy do they own though? Which one?
I don't really know. One of them.
How many are there?
MSTR, MSTU. Well, it's complicated. There's SDRK. There's all different ones, and they all have different strategies. That's why it's now just strategy, right?
Well,
is it fucking grift?
Is
it's
it
gonna be
strategy?
So funny. Guys like me right now. Okay, all of us who are making fun of this, people are like, these guys are fucking idiots and they don't know shit. In 5 years, you're gonna see. Yeah. It's gonna be hilarious. This thing fucking falls apart faster than you can imagine. But I digress.
Yeah, is it strategy or strategy B?
He just wants you to fucking buy his shares, dude.
Yeah,
it doesn't
he just
matter.
wants you to buy the shares. How do you imagine?
At this point, that company doesn't even exist. Okay, all it is just fucking buy my shares so I can buy Bitcoin. Like, look, what does it do?
I'll tell you what I think it's going to do.
Okay. Everyone,
we can talk about what we think it's going to do.
Everyone,
okay,
fine. Right
yeah.
now.
Let's.
Before we go forward with this, I have to acknowledge, and everyone take a moment and acknowledge that this guy here. I was thinking about this after today's space we did. You've been creating content for years now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
For fucking years, nonstop. Like you don't get, I think, enough credit for all you have done for the space. And
I just don't suck the right dicks, my dude. That's all.
It's
plain and
about
simple,
that,
man.
like,
you ain't sucking the right dicks. You ain't getting the clicks.
No, dude. I have
insemination without
props,
the D.
Man. I have to give props where props are due, and you, sir, are one of the good ones for sure. And
I appreciate you, man.
Even though you do this, as long as relaxed or not as you want, like if you stop, you're gonna be missed for sure, man. So don't.
I appreciate you, man. I really do.
Wow.
So what I'm hearing is Yellow is saying, "Don't stop believing."
Well, a second.
Yeah.
Well, for now, I'm not going anywhere because apparently people like to get mad at stupid things that people like me say. So I'm going to enjoy this. Yeah.
Yeah, you got too much content.
For now, I'm not going anywhere, but the pendulum does sway, right? Like it does. Like Yellow, we've talked about this. Like it's it's not always rosy. Oh, yeah. It's not always sunny skies. What's the eyes? What's the eyes?
And sometimes I have to say,
is bro bouncing on a ball?
Sometimes.
Mind your business, sir.
It's being the bigger guy when you willingly play the second.
The what?
Supporting role. You're the bigger guy sometimes in that equation.
So that means I'm the bigger guy because I play a supporting role for Yellow.
No, we're not talking about you. No.
Oh, no, it's different. Okay. So now it's arbitrary.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's like if you can't be an athlete, you can be an athletic supporter.
Whoever understands.
No, I appreciate it, man. I do get it. I do appreciate it, man. It does mean a lot to me. Coming from you, it means a lot to me. So thank you very much. Came from Greg, it'd be a different story.
That's right. Yeah. Phil likes to be inseminated coming from Yellow.
He'd be deleting his Twitter right now if it was coming from Greg.
Speaking of which, right? You made me an action figure. So I wanted to talk about the action figures.
Okay. Let's talk about the action figures.
Yeah,
please. I mean, you basically begged me to make you one.
I did.
I saw it.
And it totally worked. It totally worked. It was fantastic. But yeah, so this was my whole thing, right? You're
gonna have to back it up and explain what the action figures thing is, because I don't think everybody knows.
So AI. I don't know if is everybody making that shit with Grok?
I use ChatGPT, but I'm sure people are using
ChatGPT,
Grok too.
that
Oh,
one.
okay, ChatGPT. I don't know. I use Grok for everything, but so essentially, like there's been a whole bunch of AI generated action figures of people in the Bitcoin space. Now I know that this has happened obviously everywhere else, and that it's not necessarily original to us. But I just find it fucking cringe that the first thing people think of is influencers. Like, have some faith in yourself. Why don't you make yourself a fucking action figure? Right? Like, why don't you be the
Damn.
hero for yourself? Instead, it's like, oh, well, I just want to see this action figure of Dan Held or Peter McCormack or Lynn Alden or something. Like, it's fucking, you serious, man?
Those people
I
trying to
like
get
that
attention.
voice. That was good.
Anyways, sorry.
That's
It's
right.
just, but again, it's just weak.
Does it
I
surprise
can
you that I
make
made
those
one for
things
myself?
work for my paragraph. Oh, your potato one was good.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, I love the potato one. That was great. What's his name? Dave from Represent Ltd, the
Yeah.
clothing, right? Bitcoiner, dude. He did one too, like of himself. That was fantastic. I thought that was great. Sorry, it just bothers me. It's the constant idolizing, right? The fucking cards, the action figures, all of this crap. It's like, just make a stone idol out of the person already and pray to it.
What's the problem with the idolizing? I just want you to keep
Stone
going.
idols, we're trying to sell some yellow plushies. I don't know if anybody wants to get in on that.
Okay,
Nice.
I'll tell you what the problem is, Greg.
Okay.
Quite
Phil
simply.
has two already, so he's good.
Huh? I
You
actually
got
do have
two.
one.
You got. Oh, I thought you had two.
No, I can't
Okay.
afford two. Look at me. I'm not making big influencer money. I can't afford two of these plushies. Just have one. I keep it in mint.
Yeah, he did.
So tell me, what's the problem?
Yeah. What was the question?
What is the problem with people idolizing?
Oh, the idolizing.
the
Yeah,
influencers.
Okay, so how about this, right? It has to do with this kind of bestowing of, we'll say, it's like the bestowing of properties onto something that isn't true, right? So it's like all of a sudden, because you're creating an idol out of this person, it all of a sudden creates the idea that nothing they say is wrong, nothing that they do is wrong, and they get this superhuman persona, and that's where I find, to me, that it gets really weird. Because and you see it all the time, right? Like when you're on Twitter or something like that, and you're just having a like a discussion, you'll often see these people that'll come in and they'll defend, right, their influencer, or they'll defend their hopium dealer, and it's like, you don't need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's something that, because what's happening is that they feel personally attacked, okay?
Yes.
Because they've internalized.
Greg has that all the
of this
time when I
messaging.
talk about the USA about that. He feels pushed.
You're just mad that you're wrong.
I'm just saying, like, and also this, right? If we look at human history, we have a really bad track record with idols, fake idols, stuff like that. Like, we're just not the brightest. So just maybe doing the same shit we've always done isn't really the, maybe it doesn't work, right? Just maybe. Anyways.
Rusty?
I think you're going against human nature. I think just literally in our human instinct to create heroes and create people of importance. I don't know how you can go against that. I think it's just in our nature, as you say. Like, we've been doing it for centuries,
Right.
putting people on pedestals, and then. But I mean, but the other side of that is, how are you going to slay your heroes if you don't create them in the first place?
Yes.
He makes a very good point.
Make the heroes first. Then you slay
Yes.
the heroes.
I can respect that, Rusty. I can respect that.
Yeah, nice.
See, that's
I
the
can
other
turn it
thing.
into a shirt. Do you think I'll be able to sell that shirt?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back.
It's like I'm putting this up on the shop right now.
Bitcoiners are industrious people.
Yeah.
All right, Rope. How much time do you think you need for this meme review today? We've got 2 weeks worth in here.
I tried to pack last week's memes and this week's in together. I think I've got about 18 to go through.
All right, let's knock that out.
Let's knock it out. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
This is the moment everyone's been waiting for. All 6 of them.
I'm
All
showing
we'll try to
15.
get this through quickly. All right.
Yeah, I went to fact check
Hey.
that myself.
Welcome to the meme review, sponsored by the Meme Factory. First one up here, Gorilla Bloomberg at Gorilla OSINT. This has got some music for it too, but I thought this was hilarious. We can't play the music, but we've got the Squidward SpongeBob meme. Another recession for millennials. Usually this is like another $20 trillion for Israel or something meme, but this guy, I thought this one was really funny.
May I suggest
Greg,
a
quick
rating?
score.
9 out of 11.
9 out of 11. That's one of my old recycled scores, but I'll take it because we're in a hurry. And next, moving along here, Corey Bates at Corey Bates 1895. I'm not sure why that's his year right there, but every decoupling, quote unquote, post on X Day. Like I said, some of these are from last week when everyone was raving about decoupling. We've got the guy on the bus here, and then he's got holding the phone with everything red except for Bitcoin. I'm going to hazard a guess and say that Corey didn't make this because I've seen him reposting other people's memes, but it was a good one, so I had to throw it on there. Score.
Post your reply.
Huh?
Post your reply.
Post your reply. Like this?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Moving along. We've got Bitcoin at Bitcoin_dog. This is in some kind of community post. I think Greg submitted this one. We've got AI generated image here. JPal having his fist over the big red button, QE Infinity. And then some dog, I guess, I don't know, like somebody's trying to steal Labra's swag here. But we've got Do It, Jerome, send Bitcoin to the moon. And speaking of Labra,
Woof,
score,
woof.
floor is set. Fuck you, Pedro.
You would have spelled it Pedor, so.
That would have been hilarious.
All right, next one. What do we got here? Moving along.
No.
This one checks.
Whoa.
I got at Kramer Tracker. Checks brokerage account. This was when the markets were nuking, I guess, last week, and everything was down. We've got
This
a
is
picture
Liberation
of a
Day.
horse inside of a gas station. Liberation Day, yeah.
This is Liberation
Yeah,
Day.
a horse inside of a gas station with projectile vomit in front of like an ATM and shit. This one was pretty funny right here. Me after swallowing my bros cum. Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow. Score. And the beautiful thing about this that, Bitcoin's just been kind of flat, ranging around like 85K. So there's no really, we're okay. But for the TradFi bros, like Phil was saying, they're wrecked.
They are wrecked.
Score here. Suggestions, anyone?
Big doggo spaghetti.
Big doggo spaghetti.
Move on that one. Yeah. That's a bit-
But I
I don't
can't
think
spell
it's
spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Don't ask me to
Spaghetti.
spell spaghetti.
Big kitty.
All right. All right, next one right. Next one right here, we've got our boy at Coin Icarus. And of course, Phil's been chugging away on his memes, stealing the game. We've got the guy from, what is this, The Office? Or what is
Yes,
this?
Yeah,
What is it?
Milton from The Office, of
Milton.
course.
It's not their
Yeah.
office.
But I
It's
was
Office
told
Space.
Bitcoin was decoupling.
I like
Thank
this
you,
one.
Marcus, from Office Space.
I like
correct.
this one a lot. I could imagine when
Score-
this whole
score
narrative came out.
obviously-
I'm sorry, happening.
Obviously, it's
Swing line stapler.
my stapler.
It's
It's in the voice, right? You know, Yellow, it's the voice.
My
My stapler. My
stapler.
stapler. My stapler.
Fucking shit show.
Alright. Next one, we've got at Ramp Capital LLC. I think he's making a joke about all the supposed jobs coming back due to tariffs. This is the I said we sad today meme. And he said, I said we gonna learn textile manufacturing today. No, I thought that was good.
Score the reverse rope.
The reverse rope.
Why is it a reverse rope?
Who cares? Let's just keep it moving.
This guy looks like
Anyway.
a community leader.
Next one, speaking of rope, nice segue there. We've got at Ropium. When you see Bitcoin below 80K, this was Greg submitted this. I don't submit my own memes usually. I've got the
Good,
Mickey
though.
Mouse here who's looking
Yeah.
at something kind of horny like. And because he sees Bitcoin below 80K. So let's see, score.
He scores
Horny
himself.
Mickey Mouse.
You really put the effort on that meme.
Dissemination.
I did not put any effort on that meme, but I appreciate your
Oh, wow.
sarcasm. All right, we've got this one
Ooh, a
submitted by
double.
Greg. This is in reply to a Rothmus tweet. Are you winning, son? We've got the Penguins here. I think we're in a trade war with the United States. We've got Trump on the whatchamacallit computer. And then we've got a couple look like a liberal millennial right here. Down with the system. The system is exploitative and unsustainable, and then Trump nukes the system. And no, not the system. I saw this meme reposted a lot. It was it went around a lot. This was a really popular meme right here. Score.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see
Who
why.
did you steal this from?
Yeah.
Not even
All
a
right,
question
moving
mark.
along here. All right, we've got at Zero Hedge. China plans a ban on Hollywood movies as part of its trade war retaliation. He's got the Chad talking to the Wojak here or whatever. Your terms are acceptable. The
Should have been a Chinese
NPC
Chad. Should have put like a rice farmer hat on him, you know.
score. How do I, Greg? I need you to help me score this one,
very
like in a very heavy
very
Chinese
stereotypical of you.
accent.
Why haven't we had Phil score anything? That's what I want to know.
Well, he read the ad read.
Oh, I got you. Score.
Hollywood.
Mao did
Hol-
nothing wrong.
Hollywood, welcome in China.
In the great China.
No more.
You're about to get your
Chinese
account
people can't
nuked.
make the L. Make the L sound when they talk, so you gotta replace it with an
Oh,
R.
is that what you were doing?
Appreciate you explaining that.
Oh,
Appreciate you.
Yeah. All right, we've
Yeah.
got at Barry Kissing Sis. All right, I don't know what it is. This is a tweet submitted by Pedro. Everyone who is begging for a Bitcoin pullback at 105K to buy the fucking dip, here you go. Everyone who was begging for a MSTR pullback at 400 to buy the fucking dip, here you go. Everyone who was begging for ETH to go to 0, here you fucking go. Banger. Nice tweet. I'm gonna like that.
Yep.
She banged.
Not a
Score.
meme, Pedro.
Win XRP. I don't know. All right, next one. Moving along here, we've got at Greg Zodge, at Greg Zodge 1. We've got the guy on the bus going here again. We've got Bitcoiner on the right. He's happy looking at the price. It's staying pretty flat. And then the .ETH as his investment is just going to absolute 0.
Unlike
Score.
Rope, I
got
submit my
this
own
one.
memes.
Firmware bad, everybody mad.
On the
It's a good
special bus
callback.
because it's so small.
What? Okay, moving on.
He's
It's
making fun of
basically
me
Alright,
with the phone.
So small.
Oh, all right, next one. We've got at McHoddleface. He quote tweeted this Colleen at Little Witty. And he did the classic NPC girl. We could have just taxed billionaires. This was funny. Under like, so I'm
Wow, way
gonna throw a
underliked.
retweet on there for him. Phil, you got anything for this one?
No.
Some serious
Totally
underperformance.
unprepared for your scoring.
Why? You were there when we made up how we do scoring.
Was I?
Oh yeah.
The memory address I'm trying to reach is currently unavailable. So I don't remember that at all.
What Greg is
Feeling
trying to
bugging out.
say is that
That's my score. I'm totally unprepared.
Nice.
I appreciate that, Rope. That's good stuff. Better
You're
than what
welcome.
I would have come up with.
All right,
Perfect.
next one we've got at Big Sean Harris, who of course submitted his own tweet because he can't be here and he wants to be on the Meme Factory test stream, which I understand. We've got the classic fork in the path here: darkness and
Nice.
decay, happiness and light. And the guy choosing which way, young man or Western man. We've got at Lynn Alden contact, taps mic, clears throat, nothing stops his train. Then we got Anthony Pompliano. Mark CPI just fell to 2.4%. Inflation is falling off a cliff. Come on, Yellow. Give me something good here.
Run it back.
Run it
Run
back.
it back. Is that a basketball? Never mind.
I can't believe I'm
All right,
seeing
next one
Anthony
here.
Pompliano in the news again. It's annoying.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was just thinking.
The
We got
guy
Chewy
must be.
here.
The guy must be
Go ahead.
paying like someone
Yeah.
for sure.
That's
Yeah,
a classic
he's gonna run out of
example of
He's-
cocaine
someone.
eventually.
He's sucking the
Classic
right dicks.
example of someone like, he invested
plays the
too
game
much in
very well.
BlockFi and now he's hanging around.
I like the sushi
Okay.
game, you know.
He's an excellent game player. This is a great one.
Yeah, this
This
is
is
Chewy
really good.
at S256
true.
Anon 001. We've got a chick in a BMW with her nails done, probably some wool on, a Starbucks coffee cup that costs probably $20-$25. You know what I mean? And his caption is, "I can't afford Bitcoin starter pack." Or, I got a score for this one. Score. Or, maybe women are too stupid
Oh my
to
god.
buy this big one.
Wow.
Rope's on a tear
Too
today.
much?
So he's on a yeah.
I'm just.
He wants to get cancelled so
Jeez.
bad.
He's trying to get the
Yeah, well,
account
you know.
nuked.
You're lucky these are all test
YouTube
streams,
nuked.
Rope.
Yeah, we're lucky these are test streams.
You only live once, man. I'm going hard in the
Yeah.
paint here. All right, we've got at Lightning Maxi, Mr. Satoshi. Had to get him on the meme review. Haven't had him on yet. Good pleb. Underliked, but he's got a little graphic here. It's a little different here. So he's got Bitcoin as a circle, Bitcoin likely as 2 circle, and then Bitcoin plus Lightning plus Noster. And there's a name for this design / shape / geometric pattern. I'm sure Greg probably knows about it, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yes.
Huh?
What was that? Yellow?
The anus.
Yeah, anus.
Score.
Okay. Sorry.
Anus.
Give the answer.
I
Okay.
mean, you could just call it sacred geometry.
I didn't even notice Yellow's face in the one that Cooge posted below.
The sacred geometry of anus.
Spelled correctly. Nice.
Moving along. This one, somebody commented under when I quote tweeted Peter Schiff about how Bitcoin was born out of the financial crisis of 2008. Ironically, the financial crisis of 2025 will kill it. I threw my little Reaper meme out there that I didn't make. And then Hodley Gun commented this. We've got Amarillo, Yellow, and I guess this is what's his Haiku?
Yeah.
Yellow, I put this on here because I want to know what this guy's saying. I asked for the sound version with sound, they wouldn't give it to me. Do you know what's going on here?
It's Spanish.
Spanish.
No, I don't know. That's not what
I think
Got
we
it.
need Sean for Spanish.
En español.
In Spanish. Got it. Moving along.
Press
here.
Sean
And
for
then
Spanish.
we've got at Ewan Rabinstein. Iwan? Rabenstein?
Sure.
Rabenstein?
That's what I've been
Why not?
calling him.
Yeah, Iwan
Okay,
Ravenstein. That's what I call him.
Yeah.
I call him Ivan.
This is a-
but yeah.
It's probably Ivan.
Ivan,
You're
he's
probably
got
correct.
the classic
Probably
"Don't
Ivan.
shoot, I'm retarded" meme right here. We've got Peter Schiff on the face. They say "prove it." Then he quote tweeted it. The same thing I was kind of shitting on right here. Always a good laugh at Peter Schiff's tweets. Yellow, Rusty, you got anything for this?
I just don't know why Peter Schiff isn't gloating as much as he should be. I haven't seen him. He's pretty quiet.
If you talk about a freaking memer, by the way, Ewan has been consistent and
Yes.
never stopping. My God.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Puretism.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you too, RD. I know you're not here, but yeah.
Thank you, Rusty. And then the last one right here, submitted by Pedro. It's also not a meme, but we've got at Sir Jeremy London in reference to Jeff Bezos sending his wife and 4 women to space the other day. If going to space for 3 minutes makes you an astronaut, then I'm a gynecologist. That's
I
pretty
like that
funny.
one.
That's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
Marcus, come on.
What was
Give
the
me a
Zero
score here,
G. Zero G.
0
It's
G.
deep.
Wait.
Send her back.
0
Zero G.
G. Boom.
I told my wife that joke, and she thought it was really funny for some reason. I don't know why she thought it was so funny.
Which one? Which joke? Oh, the gynecologist.
gynecologist
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
The bit about being a gynecologist for 3 minutes. Yeah.
Don't know.
I think you
watch
do
that.
know, Rusty, but you know, it'll hit you eventually.
Yeah.
And that was the Meme Factory meme review. Thank you so much for playing along. All finished.
I didn't clap once. Some rope got mad at me.
Yeah.
Well
Don't
done.
do
Ro.
that.
Well done.
I didn't
Thank
even
you.
know I was supposed to clap, and I just intuitively felt
You knew.
the clap had to happen.
You knew it was happening.
I knew it was happening. He needed the claps.
All right.
And I don't
So
blame him.
I do need to clap. I do
Lady
need to
Gaga
clap.
literally wrote a song about the applause.
called the clap.
No, I don't know what it's called, but she keeps saying the word applause over and over again.
Yep. I know.
Sorry.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
So obviously it's very important.
Phil, I want to dive back into why and how you think the master
Yeah.
is going to
Master?
Yeah.
The master? Did you say
MSDR.
master?
The master.
MSDR.
I got him saying master now. That was me. I started that.
That's terrible.
I started that.
I mean, it's not wrong, right? Technically. if you
I
think
know.
about it.
It just makes
All the
sense. I don't know.
shareholders are
I see
slaves,
MSTR,
right?
and it just can't. Every time I see MSTR, I think master. That's the abbreviation. And then one day I just said it on the stream, and they were like, "Why do you keep saying master?" And I have no idea. That's just the connection my mind made.
Mm-hmm. Everybody knew what it was.
Yep.
Of course, the
All
guy
right,
from
so we
Alabama.
have the Reaper meme and Master. Okay,
And
let's
Master.
continue.
Let's go. I'm on a streak. I'm special, like Yellow.
So I like thinking about that too, Greg. You see, the thing is, when I listen to like these guys on the MSDR True North, you know,
Mm-hmm.
are we still there? Yeah,
I
they're
don't know what that is.
they're literally like, I don't know if it's yesterday or today for you guys, whatever. I'm on the other side of the world, but they were talking about we shouldn't be so tribal, you know, and we have to rethink. I'm a maxi, but I have to rethink how a maxi thinks. And the only thing they really keep glossing over is, all right, you know, you're trusting a third party. That's it, right? And this guy's got a
Don't trust
huge
third
bag of
parties.
Bitcoin. You're giving up your self custody to own something that's not yours.
Mm-hmm.
And what could go wrong? Well, we don't know, right? Look at Celsius, look at BlockFi. Something of that nature might happen. I don't know. I don't know if MSTR is literally gonna blow up. You know, the price would need to go like way low and for like 20 years or something for MSTR to blow up. So that's probably not what's going to happen. It's just something's going to happen and you're not getting your Bitcoin back. It either gets confiscated, 6102, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
That's my
Yellow
point,
called it
yeah.
Yellow called it like a little while. I think it was like a year ago or something when someone asked what's going to be the BlockFi, what's going to be the FTX this cycle, and Yellow was like, yeah, probably MicroStrategy. I feel like it's
the
coming
vibe is
eventually.
the same, you know. The vibe is exactly the same, you know. It's like, yeah, I'm just doing it to get more Bitcoin, right? It's like, where have we heard that before?
Yeah. Denominated in
Relatively
dollars.
risk-free.
Relatively
Right.
risk-free.
It's relatively risk-free. So here, this is my whole thing with it because I've been looking at this for a while, and you know, before I ever got into Bitcoin, I was always an amateur, you know,
Astronomer.
buying stocks, right, and stuff like that, and that was my whole plan before I found Bitcoin. Was I was buying dividend-paying stocks and I was reinvesting the dividends, right, in order to create a stream of income, which sounds very familiar.
Yep.
But I was doing it with businesses. This is the difference. I was doing it by buying shares of businesses that are cash flow positive.
Mm-hmm.
They actually earn enough money to cover the dividend payments. Now, we enter MicroStrategy, okay? All they have is Bitcoin. Their business, every day, their business does not earn enough money to cover all of their expenses, okay? Anybody can sit there and go figure out, like, what was MicroStrategy's earnings without any of their Bitcoin in 2024. It's like minus $55.6 million or something like that. Okay? And if you go take a look at their earnings, every single fucking quarter, their earnings are down. So, and if you go take a look at their business over the last 5 years, you can see that their actual business itself is down sequentially year over year. Okay, so how does this, in my eyes, how does this all fail? Okay, so at some point, and I don't know when this happens, but at some point, I believe that they are going to over-dilute their shares, and obviously he's going to continue offering dividend classes of shares, okay? So I believe between those two scenarios, at some point, it's just going to become completely unsustainable. And the reason why I think it becomes unsustainable is because the underlying business itself does not earn enough money to cover all of these expenses. If you remove all of the Bitcoin, if you take Bitcoin off the MSTR balance sheet, they have approximately 2 years of runway, okay, without Bitcoin. So let me ask you this, okay? MicroStrategy comes to a point, right, where they can afford, let's say, to make those dividend payments, okay? Let's just say we come to that point. What happens then? they sell their Bitcoin, right? They kind of don't really have a choice but to sell their Bitcoin, or they can dilute their shareholders, right? Now,
Yep.
if you're somebody who's actually been in the TradFi system, you know that as a shareholder, you don't want to get diluted. Like, it's really nice that he's buying Bitcoin, but you don't want your shares to be diluted. So that is not very enticing. Okay, so we've got that scenario, right? Because they don't actually earn enough money, and the only way that they're buying Bitcoin is by issuing new debt. Okay, so we've got that aspect of it. What happens when? Because what happens when the Microsofts of the world, and this is what I've said before, this is my whole argument. What happens when the higher quality companies that don't need to sell shares to keep the lights on, what happens when they start accumulating Bitcoin? Where is your premium on MicroStrategy? Why would you hold MicroStrategy when you can hold a fucking Adobe that has pallets of cash just sitting there, doesn't ever need to sell the Bitcoin, and on top of that, they're a cash flow positive business. So they're paying you a dividend, they're able to stack Bitcoin, but most importantly, they're able to hold that Bitcoin for an indefinite amount of time, which MicroStrategy, I'll say it right here, I don't think they can hold that Bitcoin for some lengthy amount of time. This is why he's pushing out all of these products as quickly as he can. There is a time limit to this first mover advantage. Okay?
You become the next Grayscale.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying, and that's what he's trying to do. Now, talking about going back to Plan Marcus's point about the 6102 thing, okay? That's to me that's part of this whole thing, because
That's Coinbase.
MSTR, right, is going to become, part of this whole too big to fail thing, right? Because you got to take a look at who their investors are. Right, BlackRock is like one of their top investors, and I forget who the other are in the top 5.
All your favorite names.
Yeah, exactly. It's all your 3-letter agencies and your favorite names. They're all working together. But essentially, right, that's like a honeypot of 500,000 plus Bitcoin.
Well,
right?
no, it's not.
And look at
It's not.
Huh?
Because the honeypot is Coinbase.
Right? It's not. Exactly.
The honeypot
it's
is Coinbase.
But it's the perception.
Yeah.
It's all the perception. So who is going to take ownership of those assets? If we go back to the mortgage crisis, right? The winners and losers were picked. Okay, that is exactly what happened. Lehman's finances, and so was Bear Stearns, all of their finances were the
allowed to
exact
nuke.
same.
Yeah.
Sorry?
They were allowed to nuke.
That's right.
Yeah.
They were allowed to nuke, and their colleagues were allowed to come in and pick the bones, right? And let's be honest, the Bitcoin bones, if there are any, right, from MicroStrategy, I think they're a little bit more worthwhile than the distressed assets from the mortgage crisis.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a real incentive here to have this weak-ass company, okay, that needs to dilute shareholders to keep the lights on and to buy Bitcoin. Kind of incentive. There's a bit of an incentive to have these this kind of weak company holding Bitcoin, so to speak.
Yep.
So yeah.
So who picks the bones? Who picks the bones?
Oh, it's going to be Goldman Sachs. It's going to be JP Morgan doesn't want to, supposedly,
They
right?
will.
But they will. Wouldn't be surprised
When it
if
comes
Goldman
time to
Sachs
pick
is in there.
bones, they'll all want some.
I
So
do
There's
think
a
so.
nationalization. You could do
So-
the nationalization thing. They blow up and then hand all of the Bitcoin
Oh.
to the government, and it's like plan executed. We
So-
now have a strategic Bitcoin reserve.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Remember
I mean,
earlier we were talking about what was it, the ratings agencies and
Yeah.
how much do you need to pay to play?
Yeah, like Moody's.
Is Saylor paying to play, or are these guys who are running the world right now just allowing him to come in and just play the big guy?
I think he found a loophole in.
Yeah, bingo.
Yeah,
he
I
found
think
the
he found a
loophole. He was
loophole
buying
in.
it with his own money at the beginning, right? You got to think of the story, right? Think of the MicroStrategy story. At the beginning, he wasn't issuing debt. He was buying Bitcoin with his own money, right? He was doing what we were
was
doing.
talking
Yeah,
about
but I
positive
just
cash
mean
flow.
MSTR, right? Like at a certain point, he had like 100K Bitcoin or whatever it was. Now it's more than 500K. At some point,
He
he's on
levered
the
up.
radar, and these guys will knock on your door, and they'll make you an offer. Like, all right, you better play, or we're gonna have the SEC starting investigating stuff, or whatever they can come up with.
I think
sorry, I
they
wanted
told
to
him you
explain-
keep your Bitcoin at Coinbase.
That's a good
Right.
point too, right?
That's a
You're not.
good
He's
one.
not allowed
That's
to
a good
move it
one.
all. He's not allowed to move it all. Maybe we don't know. But I'm sorry. I really wanted to explain this other piece, which I think actually kind of ties everything together, right? Because I think I missed an intro, like a very important part of why this all falls apart. And essentially, it's this. Right? There's these great, some fucking camera just went out. But essentially there's this class of shares, right? STRK that pays a dividend. And I'm trying to get my camera back on while I explain this. So there's these shares, right, that pay out the dividend.
It's fine.
STRK, okay?
Strike.
And
called
STRK,
strike.
oh yeah, I've been calling it strike, but it's not. But essentially STRK has to pay out, like, I think it's what is it, $56 million a year in dividends.
Whoa.
Okay, so yeah. So that's what it is.
If
So
I remember
that's
correctly,
the-
he said that company only brings in like 50 million a year.
bingo. So
I
He
have
also
to be
has-
honest.
Hold
I
on,
don't
hold
really
on, hold on.
understand
There's
that part
also
because
strike.
I think it's something like
It-
with covered calls or something. So there's
Look,
No,
I don't
that's
know
the-
anything
that's
about that. I'm not going to
MSTY.
pretend to understand the covered call shit. I just
That's
know
got yeah.
I just know the basics. Oh, sorry.
That
Go
one's
ahead.
got
Rusty.
nothing to do with. I was going to say that's got nothing to do with MicroStrategy. MSTY is a product by
That's
Yield
from
Max.
Tidal Investments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a different one. But they've got.
Synthetic.
But MicroStrategy now have Strife, Strike. So there's two there that I think offer dividends, have slightly different structures.
That's right. They have slightly different structures, but STRK is the one that I think pays the most. That's the one where he essentially owes the most. The STRF, I don't know if
8% or something.
Yeah, and I don't know if STRF is the one where he does where it's like the 2.5 million shares at where he only has to come up with $500,000 in dividend payments a year. But either way, the really big one is STRK. It's over $50 million a year of dividend payments, about $14 million a quarter that he needs to come up with. Okay, so this is how, in my eyes, it all falls apart.
And he's been borrowing as interest rates. Oh, wait, this
get-
came out recently, right?
Yeah,
So he's expecting interest rates to fall to cover his outflows as he's not making enough money to do it. So if interest rates rise, he's fucked. Is that what you're saying?
and I'm also saying that he expects the Bitcoin price to go up as well, which
Yep.
will increase the value of his enterprise, and he will be able to dilute, it's kind of the same thing, dilute the shareholders further. So if you really look at this, right, this scenario is expecting such perfect market mechanics in order to work out. And I'm sorry, we've all lived in this world. The perfect market mechanics do not exist.
That's not
and when
Bitcoin.
it falls apart in a big way. And so for me, my whole issue is this. He has to come up rain or shine with over 50-something million dollars of payments just on this one share structure. Okay? The company doesn't even earn that per year. So how is he going to pay those shareholders? He's going to pay those STRKs and those STRF shareholders by diluting the MSTR shareholders. It's the only way that he can do it. Or in the beautiful, like, unicorn scenario, he can make the company cash flow positive and be able to pay the dividends from the money that actually comes into the business. And I don't see that happening. He's been, for 4 years now, he's been talking about the fucking hope.com, and he's building tools for Bitcoin. And in the meantime, the only tool for Bitcoin that he's built was his fucking 100K party, which came late. So, sorry.
Who did you get an invite to?
Oh, no. Why would I be invited?
He kicked Yellow out.
No. Yeah, I wouldn't really
we saw
talk
that.
about you, Phil, but yeah.
Okay, good. They kicked Yellow out. That's true. But yeah, I just don't see it. And again, it's no personal attack on him and stuff like that. The guy's done great for himself. He's an engineer, all that good stuff. But I just do believe that this shit falls apart in a horrible way. And right now we've got a whole bunch of blind cheerleaders that are pretending that it doesn't. Okay? All of these other companies that fell apart, they all pretended to be holding Bitcoin too. Okay? Like, think about that, right? BlockFi and all this stuff. They were all like, yeah, we've got Bitcoin.
I'm still a little bit split, to be honest. Like, if I'm completely honest, I'm like, yeah, like you said,
Like a diluted
all that
master
shit.
holder.
But one thing I can be very clear on,
I'm still a
right?
cheerleader.
The second you buy any of those shares, that you're bypassing the whole point of Bitcoin, which is, not your keys, not your coins. You can get rug pulled in so many ways. It can go wrong. So I mean, yeah, size it,
I agree.
size it in whatever way you want it. I mean, but the guy has so many people selling their Bitcoin to get this IOU. Doesn't make sense to me.
So the other red flag
Nope, there he goes.
is the I'll just turn off my video, but for now the other red flag to this whole thing is these people that think they're going to be able to quit their 9-to-5 jobs just by buying MSTY. And I understand, again, I know that MSTY is not MSTR, but this is the thing, right? The same behavior, I saw this crap with BitConnect, I saw it with Davercoin, I saw it with all of these high yield investment products that were around in 2015 to 2017. There is nothing new under the sun, okay? Like, you cannot extract value from something that doesn't produce it. And I mean, I think of it like this as myself, right? I'm a person who currently doesn't bring in as much money as they need to live every month. So what are my options? My options are to borrow against my holdings, right? Or sell my Bitcoin. Like, just because it's a corporation, it doesn't make
Trade
it that much more
XRP.
impervious. Yeah, right, exactly. Make a shitcoin. But this is the whole point, right? It's that at some point you need to realize that there needs to actually be money coming in that covers the business operations. Like, this isn't like some,
They don't teach this in college anymore.
They don't. Like, and I feel like I'm explaining something that's like from another fucking universe. Like, what? You need to make money to have money, huh? It's like we're talking to fucking cavemen. And like all these guys see they're fucking Lambos. I'm going to be rich because I'm buying these stupid shares. Like, no, you're not.
All right, Rusty,
I think-
this
I
is
think
going
there
to
are
be the last
People who was
question.
buying stupid shares. Rusty, go ahead.
Yeah, g'day. Stupid share guy here. So yeah,
Stupid rich share guy.
I think the problem with people that are talking about MS2Y is they think that they get the dividend and that's the end of the story. But every time there's a dividend payout, the stock price goes down by a similar percentage of what you get paid in dividends. So it's like so it could be worth like $21 for an MSTY share, and then they do a dividend once a month, and then you get your however many, if you've got 1,000 shares, you might get $1,000, and then you pay tax on that because it's a dividend, and then you go look at your portfolio and you're down, and the MSTY is now worth $19 a share. MSTY is now worth $19 a share. So you've lost the capital that they paid out, and then you might. Maybe if MSTR goes up and the call and the covered call things start happening, maybe it goes up in value. But I think what all it really is doing is like you're sacrificing the upside of your Bitcoin in order to pay out a dividend each month. So I don't think people realize that the actual underlying shares go down in value over time.
Also, weeds
So it's like
today.
buying ETH.
Weeds today
exactly.
corrected me that it's not actually a dividend; it's an income. So it's like taxed at 15% and not on 5 as a dividend is. So
Well, a dividend is just money a dividend is just the name. Yeah, it's like it is part of your income, so it goes onto your income tax return. Yeah.
No,
Well,
but like technically,
hold
the TradeFi guys, when
Yeah,
they
they're
call
going.
something a dividend, it means that the company already has paid the taxes. In this case, MSTY, it hasn't paid the taxes. It's an income.
Yeah.
Depends
So-
what country you're in.
Definitely
So
depends what
that too.
country you're in. So there's a whole bunch of stuff there, but especially if you don't take the cash dividend and instead you do something called a dividend reinvestment program, right? Then you don't ever you're not going to get taxed on that
drip?
until you go and start drip. That's right. That's actually what it's called, drip. And essentially what happens is that let's say you own STRK or whatever it is, or MSTY, and they're paying you out every month, right? So let's say you bought like $1,000 worth of MSTY, and the payments comes out to, I did all this math already, so it comes out to like something like $13, I think, like a month, like in dividend payments, right? So what you do is that, or in income payment, whatever you want to call it. But essentially what you do is you set up a drip on this, and that automatically reinvests it and buys a fraction of an MSTY share, right? Whatever the going price is. So let's say, the price is $19. Well, it's going to buy $13 worth or $13.35 worth of an MSTY share. And over time, you are simply having more and more shares, right? They're accumulating on their own because it's just being reinvested. So you're not paying taxes on any of that shit. Not until you cash out, of course. Which is the same everywhere.
Of course.
But you could do this with anything. You could do this with much higher quality companies, right?
But why would you? You got MST.
Well, yeah, it's like the best performing one
But
is the
I'd rather
MSTY, and the people that got in early on MSTY were getting, when MSTR was going up and the covered calls were producing more income. The dividend payouts were like $4 per share, and then therefore in the first year, I think they ended up giving out 100%. So if you invested $100,000, you got $100,000 in dividends by the end of the year. So I think everyone's still thinking about that math and not realizing that now, it's not performing the way it used to.
That's a very good point. A lot of people did not hold MSTY in 2024. It's not that old either, right? Like this product isn't even 2 years old. So that's, I don't know. I look again, right? I don't root for these products to fail because you guys got to look. If this collapses, Bitcoin is going to take a hit, right? Like, let's be honest, the price of Bitcoin, even if you don't care, it's going to take a hit.
Oh, yeah.
The public perception is going to take a hit, right? Like it did in previous cycles.
We've been there.
And we're going to have to, sorry?
We've been there.
Yeah, we've been there, and it's like, okay, so we're going to go through that again.
Don't stop believing.
Right? So obviously we'd rather this not happen, right? Like obviously you want MicroStrategy to sit there and be able to pay out their dividends and be able to make this work and be a shining example to the rest of the world to be like, see, we did a Bitcoin treasury and it worked, right? And all of a sudden it creates a whole bunch of, right? It's the positive feedback loop. People see it, they get interested. Hey, he's successful, it's working. You don't want it to fail. But the point is that these guys are seemingly so greedy that they're setting it up to fail. And this is where we start putting on the tinfoil hat and we're like, all right, is this guy a fucking spook? Right? Is this guy just an agent of the state, and he's just a guy that they put, like, they're like, so think of this, right? He had this garbage company that was just barely making ends meet for the last 20 years, right? He's a disgraced CEO from the dot-com bubble, okay? Like from that whole collapse that he had there. He's got and he's about to like leave the scene. But then they're like, hey, Mike, we got this last part for you to play. You're going to make a shitload of money, okay? It's going to fucking bring your reputation back on top. Just need you to do this thing. Yeah, it's like, that's, whatever. That could be plausible. Or they didn't want anybody buying any Bitcoin, and he was like, fuck these people, okay? Like, I'm gonna buy it, right? But then he ended up making so much noise and accumulating so much of it that they were like, all right, we can't just shut this guy down.
I buy that
We
story.
now have to, this goes back to your point, Greg. They kind of
You keep all your Bitcoin here.
I don't believe in any government's ability to plan that thoroughly.
Agreed.
So,
Well, he's not talking about the government. He's talking about, three-letter
I think
agencies.
All these guys.
I think that Saylor was smart enough to create for himself the role of being important again for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I totally think that's a valid take, too.
I don't believe he's a spook. I think he literally just came to the same conclusion as us and went balls deep.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good story though. It makes for like a
He
nice
started glowing
family
later.
Story. Like, yeah,
That's why it's a good tinfoil hat take,
Yeah, it's like interesting. It sounds plausible, but I don't believe it. I think he's just like one of us who went balls deep.
All right, we've
But the
gone.
question is-
Wait,
I'm on that page too, but at some point you get pressured to play. You know what I mean?
we've gone way over our normal time, so I got to
I'm
shut
sorry.
it down. Before we do, no, don't apologize. This is great. Phil, tell everybody where they can find you and what you might be working on.
Tell everybody sorry, Phil.
He hasn't even said sorry yet. Or
I'm
thank you.
sorry.
He hasn't said thank you yet.
Sorry. Yeah, no, you guys can find me if you decide you want to find me on Twitter. I am at CoinIcarus. On YouTube, it is at Pleb Underground, and of course, we also have our website, plebunderground.com, and you can find us on Fountain.fm as well, and Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere, Pleb Underground. And what we're working on is making content, Bitcoin-only content for Bitcoiners, and we don't pull any punches. I don't pull any punches. Ulrich doesn't pull any punches either. He makes a separate show called Down with the Underground, and if you want to check that out, that's also on Pleb Underground. And yeah, we make content, Bitcoin content.
Thanks, Phil. Appreciate you
you're
coming
far
out.
too you're far too
Thank you,
honest
guys.
and not enough clickbait, Phil. That's the problem.
Thanks,
Yeah,
everybody in the
it's
chat.
okay.
A consistent factor throughout my journey in any case. Cool.
Have a good night, everybody.